What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again today for another playoff series video. This was one I was supposed to deliver to you guys yesterday. And I already recorded twice, but there was a weird buzzing sound in the background. I think I figured out what the problem was, so I think I've taken care of that. So I'll rewatch this again if I need be, and I'll recreate it for a fourth time if I need be. Hopefully not. Gets frustrating. So 2016 round one, Hawks are defending champions, third seed in the Central, having 103 points and going up against St. Louis for the second time in 3 years. Chicago 1-6 in 2014. St. Louis was the number 2 seed in the Central, 107 points, yet Chicago was favored as they were the previous Stanley Cup champions and had a similar record of 1 point better than the year before. Close series, only one game decided by more than one goal differential. And it was the Hawks, although they're losing 7, they scored more than the Blues did, but the Blues just won those tighter games. Simple as that. Game 1, the Hawks it's in St. Louis. St. Louis has home ice advantage. Game 1, St. Louis wins 1-0 in OT. No goals in the first, second, or third period. David Backes gets the winner in overtime to make it 1-0 with his first of the playoffs, and that's the Game 1. Game 2, Hawks win 3-2 in St. Louis. No goals in the first, but Vladimir Tarasenko scores the first goal in regulation of the series. With his first of the playoffs. Duncan Keith then ties it at 1-1 with his first of the playoffs. And we go to the third, where Andrew Shaw scores on the power play to make it 2-1 with his first. And then 2 minutes and 51 seconds later, it's Artemi Panarin with his first, which was an empty netter. And then with 1 minute and 24 seconds later, with 2 seconds left in the game, Kevin Shattenkirk gets his first to make it 3-2. And the Hawks win Game 2 and tie the series at 1-1, going to Chicago. Game 3, the Hawks lose 3-2. Brett Seabrook makes it 1-0 with his first of the playoffs on the power play. And then Colton Parayko responds with a power play goal of his own to make it 1-1 with his first. A lot of power play goals in this series, that's for sure. Artemi Panarin makes it 2-1 in the second period. Or not Artemi Panarin, Artem Anisimov, acquired in the trade for a lot of pieces were gone from Chicago. Anisimov came over in the Saad deal. He did well for 2 years in Chicago. That third year in 2018, well, when Panarin left, it kind of just left Anisimov in the dust. It kind of that Kane Anisimov Panarin line was fantastic those 2 years. One of the best lines in the league. It was a very underrated line. Anisimov gets his first of the playoffs and make it 2-1. And then the third, Patrick Berglund gets his first, and Jaden Schwartz gets his first on the power play as St. Louis wins 3-2, and the Hawks blow two leads in the game. So that's just a no-no in the playoffs. Game 4, Hawks lose 4-3 and are down 3-1 at the end of this, 3-1 in the series by the end of it. Vladimir Tarasenko gets on the board in the first with his second of the playoffs, and then Andrew Shaw scores in the second to get his second. Duncan Keith then scores on the power play to get his second of the playoffs. Vladimir Tarasenko then gets his second of the game, third of the playoffs on the power play. And then in the third, Jaden Schwartz makes it 3-2 with his second of the playoffs on the power play. Alexander Steen then scores his first, and then Duncan Keith gets his second of the game and third of the playoffs to make it 4-3. So going into Game 5, no Kane goals, no Taze goals, no Hossa goals, but Shaw and Keith and Anisimov and Panarin. Those are the only 4 people in Seabrook who have scored. Game 5, Hawks win 4-3 in double overtime to keep their season alive. Marion, and no goals in the first, but Marion Hossa scores shorthanded to gets his first of the playoffs. But then on that same St. Louis power play, Jaden Schwartz, 57 seconds later, makes it 1-1 with his third power play goal and third goal of the series and playoffs. Artem Anisimov then makes it 2-1 with his second of the playoffs. Artemi Panarin then makes it 3-1 with his second of the playoffs. Going into the third, the Hawks are up 3-1, but then Robbie Fabry gets his first, and David Backes gets his second to make it 3-2 and 3-3. No goals in the first overtime, but it's Patrick Kane in double overtime that gets his first of the playoffs. And Hawks force a Game 6 at home in Chicago. Game 6, Hawks win 6-3. Andrew Ladd makes it 1-0 early. Ladd came over at the deadline from Winnipeg. He came back to Chicago. He did well at the end of the season. 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points in his 19 games with the Hawks. So he makes it 1-0. But then Scotty Upshall makes it 1-1 for St. Louis, and 2 minutes and 37 seconds later, it's Alex Pietrangelo to make it 2-1 for St. Louis. Vladimir Tarasenko then gets his fourth of the playoffs to make it 3-1. And then going into the second, the Hawks are down 3-1 in an elimination game, so they need a spark to turn it on, and they get it. It's Artem Anisimov on the power play with his third of the playoffs to make it 3-2. Then Trevor Van Riemsdyk gets his first, not a name you normally hear with scoring. He was there 3 years in Chicago, and you never really heard his name too much. Van Riemsdyk makes it 3-3 with his first. Dale Weiss then scores, another acquisition at the deadline. Only had 1 assist in 15 games after the acquisition, him and Thomas Fleischman. Fleischman had 4 goals and 1 assist in those, I think, 15 games that he played after he got traded away from Montreal at the deadline for Philip Deneau, along with Dale Weiss. Yeah, we lost Philip Deneau in that trade, and you saw what he did in Montreal in the playoffs last year, and now he's in LA with some big money. So yeah, Weiss gets the goal. Ladd scores. Fleischman I think got 1 assist in the series or no points. Yeah, Weiss gets the 1 goal in the series. Ladd, I'm pretty sure, only had 1 or 2 points. So even though Ladd did great in the regular season with Chicago, he wasn't great in the playoffs. Weiss waste of Deneau to Weiss and Fleischman. So going into the third, the Hawks are up 4-3, and then Andrew Shaw scores on the power play, his third of the playoffs, to make it 5-3. 47 seconds later, it's Marian Hossa makes it 6-3 with an empty netter, his second of the playoffs. So the Hawks force a Game 7 once again, as they commonly go down 3-1 in a series. You have the Vancouver 2011 where they were down 3-0. You have Eric Phoenix, they were down 3-1 in 2012. 2013 they were down 3-1 against Detroit, but they won that series somehow. Yeah. 2014 they were down 3-1 to LA and lost in the conference final. Here they're down 3-1 and they're nearly coming back again, but they aren't able to get it done, as in Game 7 they lose 3-2. Jori Lehtera gets his first of the playoffs. He makes it 1-0, followed by Colton Parayko, who makes it 2-0 for St. Louis with his second. Marian Hossa then gets his third of the playoffs, as he makes it 2-1. And then going into the second, Andrew Shaw scores in the second on the power play to get his 4th of the playoffs. Shaw had a good series. And then in the third, 1 goal could be the difference, and it is, as the former Blackhawk Troy Brouwer scores for St. Louis to make it 3-2, as St. Louis takes the series in 7 and will advance to the conference final after beating, I think it was Dallas that year. Will the Hawks have beaten Dallas? Who knows? That's a what-if for another day, because if the Hawks win this overtime game, they win the series, because then they'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, and it would have beat them in 6. But that's a what-if for another day, as we do. It's kind of like the game theory intro. Like, that's just a what if, a hockey what if, almost. I'm sorry, I'll never do that again. So yeah, in stats in the playoffs, Panarin 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points in his Calder-winning season. Panarin won the Calder that year. Kane 1 goal, 6 assists, 7 points, as he won the Art Ross, the first American to do so. Then there was he won the Ted Lindsay for Players MVP. And then the Hart for MVP just overall for the regular season. Shaw then got 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Tays 0 goals, 6 assists, 6 points. Crawford 3 and 4 with a .907 save percentage. On St. Louis, Schwartz leads the team, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Tarasenko 4 goals, 2 assists, 6 points. Pietrangelo 1 goal, 5 assists, 6 points. Fabry 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. And Elliott goes 4-3 with a .929 save percentage. So fantastic series from Elliott. His career would not follow the same way. So yeah, that's unfortunate for the Hawks. I wasn't as emotionally sad about this one. They'd won the same amount of cups in my lifetime than they had in my parents. And so yeah, it was kind of a cool experience to see already the Hawks win 3 Stanley Cups at such a young age. I was 10 years old when they won their 3rd one. And they'd only won 3 previous to me seeing their 3 in 6 years. So I've pretty much seen half of their glory. And now that they've just hit the crap, and I would have said hit the certain word, but I'm trying to be a PG channel here. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys right now. The Nashville video, the series for 2017 round 1, I'll try not to throw or break anything while doing it, as I don't want to re-record that one as well 3 times. So I'm going to erase all this once I'm done with this and get the Nashville video set up, and while this video is uploading, I'll be recording that Nashville video. So that's all I have for you guys for now. I don't think there's anything I wanted to mention left about this series, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.